I came to Sydney to the bar in 1964 and stayed there till 1975 when I became a magistrate. Anna was a European background, which singled her out even more as having a European accent. People in 142 were sort of not outcasts, but we were away from the main crowd in Wentworth and Selborne. My main memory of her is as being a quiet person who was dependable and conscientious.
So what was it like in those early years? What was the culture of the New South Wales bar like?
Well, I guess I'm a bit torn about that because the whole thing is, as I think about it, was really a sort of bittersweet experience in that there were some absolutely lovely men who were just wonderful and there were some who weren't. And then, of course, the problem was too that as a barrister you depended on getting work from solicitors. Now, that was another difficulty, but a lot of men had problems getting work as well, so it's not as though... It's just that we had the extra problem, I suppose.
The extra problem being gender?
Yeah. But I didn't want to acknowledge that. And I have to admit, when they started the Women Lawyers Association, I refused to join and thought it was the wrong thing to do because, again, there was no Men Lawyers Association. And why should there be an association which excluded them and which was only women? I remember when they started, they moved the divorce courts down to 50 Phillip Street, which is now something else, I don't know. And when they were remodelling them, we had to go down in ordinary clothes and change there. And I saw it, and there was this robing room, one robing room and toilet. So I said to someone, "Oh, what am I supposed to do?" And they said, "Oh, well, you can go and change in the toilet." And I thought, well, this is not right, because at the time of robing, that's when you finally talk about settlements and all the rest of it, and I wasn't going to go in the toilet and change while all this was happening. So I thought, well, bugger that. I bought the brightest pink petticoat I could find and used to go down and strip down with the men, and at the beginning it was a bit strange, but after a while nobody really noticed, and I did my bit there as well.
The late Mary Cass practised mainly in equity.
She was a chain-smoking titan of fighter. She loved to fight. It didn't matter with who or whom. She loved to fight. We had chambers on the 15th floor, Wardell Chambers, which was a colourful floor at that time with lots of personalities. And she was one of the diverse personalities on that floor. She always seemed to get tough cases, or cases with difficulties, people who were usually on the wrong end of things.
Did she, by any chance, ever speak to you or to people you knew about how she felt it was like working as a woman at the bar?
Never said a word. And never, I think Mary would have taken exception to being called Miss, Mrs. or anything else. She was one of the boys and wanted to be one of the lads, yeah.
Cecily Backhouse, New South Wales' third woman to become Queen's Counsel, or QC, came to the bar in 1964 after previously working as a solicitor.
The final solicitor that I ended up with was Cedric Simons. He had a very wide practice. It wasn't just a family law practice. But I did do, with him, I did do a lot of family law. there's no use saying otherwise.
I mean, I was told that women barristers in those days were mostly expected to do this.
Even my very good friend Bill Dean, when I was talking to him, about reading with him and so forth, Bill Dean, of all people, was to say, says, you might find that your practice will be mainly in family law.
Did you personally think it was a difficult or hostile atmosphere at the bar when you were there in those early years?
Talk it hostile, but I mean, I think, going back to what I said before, I think I knew a lot of the senior barristers and I don't think I had ever had any feeling of hostility or against me or the other women.
Cecily Backhouse was offered the presidency of the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, but instead opted to stay at the private bar where she took silk in 1987.
That was my greatest ambition, to be yourself.
During all those years in the lead up to your becoming silk, and we're talking a really good long number of years. I mean, am I right? We're thinking almost 20 years in solid practice.
That's right, exactly. The men normally would have got it in, if they were really top class, they'd probably get it in about 8 years or something like that. Oh, yes.